burst into flames, firecrackers running through my veins. And what if it breaks? And what if it shatters away, disintegrates? What if it breaks? I've seen too many sparks turning into broken hearts, seen too many wounds, all inflicted by you. And what if it breaks? What if it shatters away, disintegrates? What if it breaks? Could you help me? Could you tell me the truth? Could you tell me what to do? 'Cause I'm feeling so lost without you. Could you help me? Could you tell me the truth? Could you tell me what to do? 'Cause I'm feeling so lost without you. Fly me to Mars. Ooh, I wanna know life on the moon. Wanna see the stars. Yeah, the freckled in your eyes, your boy is so filled with charm. Fly me to Mars. You've got so many scars. I'm wondering just who you are. Got so many fears. I'm wondering why you aren't here.
Welcome to the Everything Sparkle Show today. It is hailing outside. Oh my, Jennah, what do you think of that? That's like some crazy rain.
Yeah, that's insane.
But you're a storm. I have seen your videos. You are up and coming.
Yep.
How many awards have you won, or like title? What do you call it? Title?
Yeah, for each one's for boxing, there's certain ones. So there's actually a lot, but I took the qualifiers for boxing, the wrestling. I took Reno, I took state, and so just all of them have separate ones. I haven't got to do a world yet for jiu-jitsu, but I'm planning on doing it.
How old are you?
13, or actually 14 now. My birthday was just 2 days ago, so
Happy birthday.
Thank
So
you.
are you an Aries or a Pisces?
Pisces.
Okay, I'm an Aries. My
Okay.
birthday's coming up. Oh my gosh. So what grade are you in?
8th.
8th. And what school?
Liberty Elementary. It's a K through 8 school.
So do you compete for your school or for outside?
I compete outside of school.
Nice. That is so impressive. When did you get into it?
When I was about 4 years old, my dad showed me a couple gold medals that my brothers and sisters won in Mexico for wrestling. And I got really excited and I told him I wanted one, but from America. And so ever since then, I started with wrestling and I started putting more sports onto it. So,
So it runs in the family.
yeah.
That's incredible. So you knew really young this is what you were
Yeah.
going to do. So is it boxing or wrestling? Which one's your favorite?
I can't really pick. I like them all. So,
You like them all?
yeah.
And you're going far in both?
Kind of. I do wrestling, boxing, karate, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, no-gi. So I'll probably do some boxing, but then also MMA.
Wow. So those are the ones that you compete in, the other ones as well?
Yeah.
All the...
Yeah. I compete in all of them separately, but they're all geared towards like boxing or all together MMA. So.
Oh my God, you're going to be an MMA fighter. What does your
Yeah.
dad think of that?
He wasn't too happy with the idea at first, but I'm starting to work him into liking it.
So who are some of your heroes?
Boz Rutan for sure. I get to meet up with him every once in a while. I first saw the UFC with Ronda Rousey because I seen her win the championship and all that stuff, and so I got really excited with that. So I like her and just like a couple of the other ones out there. So
Wow. So who's your trainer for, do you have a trainer for each sport?
yeah, I train over at Dethroned for wrestling with Jason Kraft. And I used to do boxing over there with Marcos, but now I'm back
He's
to...
been on my show, actually.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yes.
yeah. And so now we're kind of closer to home now from our travel situation. So now I'm back over to Visalia Pal, and then I'm doing jiu-jitsu with the Vitruvian, and Muay Thai with Lucky 7 from Outlaw MMA.
And we're doing stuff at Heartbeat Boxing as well, right?
A little bit. I'll probably do some other like shows and stuff over there. So
And you've trained a little bit with Gilbert.
a little bit.
Is he good? Does he teach you some good moves?
Yeah.
You pick up something everywhere
Yeah.
you go?
Mm-hmm.
Do you create anything since you've been doing this for so long? Are you creating your own moves?
Every once in a while, I might hit something kind of out there, which isn't considered a move, but yeah.
What is it? Explain.
I don't know. It's like kind of off the top of your head in the middle of the fight, I guess.
It's called the Jennah.
Kind of.
I love your photos, girl. You look so determined and angry, but then here you're all sweet and nice. Do you use that to your advantage when you go to fight?
Yeah.
So what does it look for in the future? MMA. Do you start that after high school? Do you do like a pre-MMA?
I might do a little bit of Olympics before I go, but I'm kind of going towards UFC and things like that. So big MMA for the championship, of course.
So the championship every year?
I don't know. It depends, I guess. Whenever they have it. I guess you have so many fights before you get to it, so.
How do you have time to do all this travel? Go from one fight to the next to the next?
I usually go from school and then to practice, but then all the tournaments we figure out in the beginning of the year, and so they make sure they don't collide and stuff, so we get the biggest ones for all of them.
Is it hard to have a fun social life or a kid life because you're so busy and so focused? How do you have time to do anything but fight?
This is my fun social life, so I enjoy doing it.
So how many hours does it take? You go to school, you go straight to there. Is this like a 20-hour a week? Some weeks.
Sometimes, yeah. I don't mind. I just do it. I kind of constantly train because even at home I'll practice, and no matter where I go, I always keep moving and keep doing something towards it.
And it's pretty expensive, right?
Actually, most of my training and tournaments are sponsored, like Bobby Salazar's.
Which we have right here. Bobby Salazar's is a sponsor of this show as well. And right now, with everything that's kind of going on in the world, shopping stores are still open where you can go to the grocery store and get salsa verde. We have all kinds of different Bobby Salazars. So this brightens up any dull meal. Do you eat a lot of this?
A lot.
You live off this?
Yeah.
Add something healthy that you can too. It doesn't affect
Yeah.
your training.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my. So what's your favorite Bobby Salazar salsa?
I kind of really like the guacamole one.
Oh yeah, we've had that one here too. So as a sponsor, do they come to your events? Do they ever come to your shows?
Yeah, some of them do, yeah.
Oh my,
Some
that
of them.
must be so much fun.
Yeah.
So what happens when you win? What do your sponsors get out of that?
So when I go to tournaments or whatever, I sometimes do commercials for Bobby Salazar's. You can see that on my Instagram. Some of them are kind of goofy. But then I'll also wear their shirts and like put their product out there and put like posts for them on my Instagram.
So what do you put Bobby Salazar salsa on?
Pretty much everything.
Today I have the Ritz cracker. Have you ever tried that?
Oh, no, not yet.
Or just chips?
I did chips. I do with our meals. So I just kind of put it on everything.
Well, we're running out of stuff now. So the best way to do it too is now you can go to you can do it with crackers. You can liven up any meal with Bobby Salazar's. So what's the end game? You want to be an MMA fighter.
I'd probably do some boxing too. Hopefully get into Olympics and be an Olympic gold medalist.
So that's the end game. Wow. So what would be the Olympics? What would it be for?
Probably wrestling, jiu-jitsu. They might have some karate in there. So it just is probably as many as possible. Many of the martial arts I do.
But there's so many different divisions. Can you do multiple things?
I think so. I don't know if you could do it all in 1 year, but I know you could do it all of them. So
that's like an interesting question. Yeah. I don't know anybody that does that many sports that they want to compete in the Olympics for all of them. What's the earliest you can compete?
I'm not sure. I know some of the ages like differ from every year.
Because you could be under 18.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's what the gymnasts and a lot of them are under 18.
I know some of them like the age limit changes and stuff, so it just depends.
So when you go to college, what are you going to major in?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of going towards being a doctor. I really like that. So ever since I was like younger, my doctor was always there for me, like after tournaments and all that, and I just seemed like it'd be pretty fun. So ever since then, I wanted to be a doctor.
The doctor boxer. That's going to be impressive. Are there scholarships? Have you looked into that too? Because you do so many sports.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll get like something from one of the colleges or something that will say have like applications or something like the early ones. So I guess it'll just matter when I get there about the girls wrestling, because I'm planning on getting a scholarship for wrestling, and if that doesn't work out, then education. I always keep my grades up.
That's perfect. You're disciplined. That's right.
Yeah.
That's why you can do that both, huh?
Mm-hmm.
At Liberty, you do the wrestling at Liberty, right?
No. I
Nothing
do it,
at Liberty.
No, I do like the school sports, but since it's a K through 8th school, all the sports are during school. So I do all those, but then I also do my mixed martial arts afterwards.
So you don't compete in anything for your school?
No, just like volleyball, track, cross country, and all that
different.
stuff. Yeah, it's different.
I was going to say, because if you did wrestling, I mean, you're far more advanced than I bet a lot of people
Yeah.
at the school. So how would they even place you? Have you thought about that? Like when you go to high school and everything, are you going to compete with their teams?
Yeah.
Or?
So, I'm trying to get into Redwood right now, but I'll probably do some other sports there. Probably wrestling, and I'll do the wrestling under there during the season, but then probably go back to Dethrone for wrestling. I'll probably, no matter what, stay with Dethrone wrestling.
Do your coaches encourage you to do multiple sports like this?
Yeah, sometimes.
Or they want you to zone in on their sport?
I usually keep it separate, so when I go to theirs, I put it all into that one or whatever, so they usually don't have a problem with it.
What's one of the benefits of all the cross training you do?
Probably just staying fit, not running out of breath as easy as everybody, and being able to run. Being more stronger than most people my age also helps, so yeah.
Well, do you learn different techniques from one sport that helps you with another sport?
Yeah, for like wrestling, I'll learn certain things that work for jiu-jitsu, and so all of them kind of help each other out, especially the footworks. The footwork's pretty much the same in all of them.
So are your brothers jealous of you now?
Hopefully.
Did they pursue it beyond? I know you said they had won awards back in Mexico and some titles and stuff. Are they still active in it?
No, I know one of my brothers, his son is doing wrestling and stuff, but most of them are adults. They're all adults, actually.
You're the young one, the youngest.
Yeah.
You're the baby. Me too. We're both March babies, and the youngest one. So, what do your friends think of you? Are they inspired? Are they afraid of you? Because some of those pictures.
Yeah, sometimes, but they know I'm not always like that. They always say how I'm like nice, but then they can't believe how mean I am in the ring and stuff. But they're pretty much okay with it.
So, if we want to follow you, we go on Instagram and
Yes.
Facebook, Jennah the Gem. And do you do any like events where if people want to hire and watch like an amateur fight, or I know you do charity events.
Yeah, I help out with some of those. I guess it just depends on what fights they are. I always, pretty much every time I have a fight or something come up, I would always promote it on my Instagram or Facebook. So I'll always keep everybody up to date with those stuff.
Do you ever train some of your friends?
Not really. It depends if they go to the gym or something, then I might work with them, but yeah.
Are you considered that you have registered hands?
Yeah, I guess so.
Is it dangerous? So is it something you're like, you got to know when to use it, know when to not cut
Yeah,
back?
that's for sure. Always got to be careful.
So when you started very, very young
Yes.
in one sport, what sport was the first one? Was it boxing or wrestling?
Wrestling.
And then when did boxing come?
It was a little bit later. I believe it was like the second or third one I picked up. I believe it's the second one.
So when kids want to box, when they're super young, where do they go to do boxing?
Probably most places have good amateur boxing. Just I guess it just depends on where you're locally at. You could even DM me on Instagram or whatever, and I'll try to figure out, because I know a lot of gyms and stuff that have boxing, but I guess it depends on where you live close by, because nobody really wants to drive far away for it. So it just depends.
Have you ever been hurt really bad?
No. Technically, one time I broke my pinky, but in my head, I was still ready to go. So they were going to put a cast all the way up to my elbow, but I talked them down to my wrist, and they said no sports. They made me stop for a week.
Oh, boy, that was hard, huh?
Yes, I stuffed it in my belt for jiu-jitsu, and I kept rolling, and I was still tapping people out, so.
Wow, so you have no fear when you go into these things. You just go into it.
Yeah.
And you've been competing against some of the boys, huh?
Yeah. Competing, like, some of them we can, but some of them we can't, so.
So tell us how fun that is when you get to, like, kick up the boys' butts, because I know you won, right?
Yeah, some of them, yes.
How do they treat you afterwards?
Some of them are kind of mad, but other times depends what they're like with their sportsmanship afterwards. Sometimes their coaches still be like messing with them and stuff because of it, but you always treat everybody with respect, so no matter what.
What is it that you want to prove to the world and your friends and all of us?
You could do anything you put your mind to. You got to get that experience to be able to do what you got to do, but just having full confidence in yourself.
So you feel like that the confidence is like
Yeah,
you too?
confidence is a big deal, because if you don't have confidence when you step into a ring or something, the outcome may not be as good as you want it to be.
So are you helping empower females and young people as well?
Yes.
That's what your goal is. Do people come up and ask about you? Like when they come and do they ask you to like sign pictures and ask you for advice?
Yeah, a couple events where I did autographs and stuff. A couple times it was like a lot, but like every once in a while I'll just have somebody random come up to me and ask for an autograph, and I don't mind. I think that's incredible. It makes me feel good, and so I don't mind.
And what kind of advice do you share to your fans?
Just stick with it. I know sometimes it gets super hard, but that's part of the journey, and you got to get that experience to be what you want to be when you grow up.
Do you ever think about giving up?
Because once you think about it, the mind is a very powerful part of the body, and if you have a strong mind and have a good willpower, then you're good.
Impressive. Do you consider yourself a tomboy, or is there like a girly girl inside of you?
There's a girly girl inside of me.
You like pink? You like to get your nails done?
Of course.
Do you have pink gloves?
Yes.
Oh, how fun. I wish I had a picture of the pink gloves. But we all need to follow you on Instagram. And then you do a lot of little videos. Is that for YouTube or just for social media?
I do some for Instagram and Facebook. I'm getting my YouTube started again because I posted a couple of times on it. But now that we're figuring it out more, we can put more
What's
on
your
it.
YouTube channel? I want to definitely check. I'll
Jennah
subscribe.
Creason, I believe. Jennah the Gem Creason.
Jennah the Gem Creason. So we can all subscribe to your YouTube channel. So
Okay, yeah.
That's great. And then you have like a little gym at home where everything's...
Yeah. I have like a bag, I have mats and stuff like that. So
do you have like your own room or the garage?
No, we have the mats up in the living room, so when I want to, I can just roll them out and then practice and put them back later.
You dominated the house? Your poor dad over here. Oh my. What do you think about all this?
I told her since she was little, I'll be there for her. If she shows that she wants to do this, I'll be there for her. But the moment she doesn't, I'm not gonna.
So if she's all in, you're all in.
Oh yeah. Oh, ever since she was little.
And you're the only girl?
No, I have 2 older siblings, but again, all my siblings are adults, so.
By that they're boys, so you're not the only.
I have 4 older brothers and 2 older sisters.
Oh wow! You had to fight just to keep your peace in there. I said when you box and do all this stuff, they put you according to weight and height, right? Or just
weight and age.
Weight and age. So when you're competing against the boys, are they your age usually, or a little bit older, or a little bit younger?
Usually the things are about a couple years apart, so I guess it depends.
And it still
on the
goes with that, the weight and age.
Yeah, and then like jiu-jitsu, they have the belt ranking or experience, they call it. So.
Where can we come watch you fight at? Do you do events here that we can come? I know it varies and you do some charity stuff. Yeah. Is there like a scheduled thing every year? You're like, I do this event at the same restaurant. Is there an event we can come watch you?
Usually, sometimes there'll be like certain ones that repetitive every year that we go to. But right now, we don't know because a lot of things are getting canceled. So
and you'll tell
depends.
us on your Facebook and Instagram when you're at a local event that we can
of course.
watch. And if someone wanted to be your sponsor, can they just reach out to you on that?
Yes.
Is your dad your manager? her dad's a big guy too. Between both of you, I mean, I feel safe in this place today.
Yeah, you can just reach out to me on my social media, and I will get back to you. So
thank you so much for coming today, Jennah. Is there anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Thank you guys for having me, and thank you for reviewing this.
Keep on watching Jennah.
When did it break? When did it shadow away? Disintegrate? When did it break?
Welcome to Central Valley Talk, the coronavirus fun and food headquarters. If you're hunkered in your bunker, hungry and need to eat, there's an option for food in Fresno's Tower District. Bobby Salazar's is standing by with individual meals or a pre-cooked meal that will keep you fed for days. Keep it in your freezer and heat it as you need it. Bobby Salazar's is located at 725 East Olive at Broadway. Call them up, place your order, then pick it up. Call Bobby Salazar's at 497-9920. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District, 497-9920.
Ghost Golf is Fresno's most spectacular family entertainment center. It's frightening how much fun you'll have on our 18-hole indoor haunted graveyard course. Skeletons welcome you, but watch out. all sorts of creatures may come to life. Ghost Golf is perfect for scary good parties, so book yours today. You'll get free plays at the Mummy Shooting Gallery, arcades, and air hockey. Check out our party and weekday specials online and like us on Facebook. Come play at family-friendly Ghost Golf. Good times will haunt you.
For all your real estate needs, call Julia Tadich with Clovis First, 559-323-2213, or visit clovisfirst.com. That's CLOVIS, the numeral 1, ST.com. Whether you're looking to buy a home or sell a home, get a loan, or whatever the case may be, call Julia Tadich.
The Saga of Bridget and Amanda by Carol Love Forbes brings to life the struggles of historical women in early America. Find the Saga of Bridget and Amanda on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and order your copy today.
At Laulea Travels, we strive to make your vacation experience as relaxing as possible. From the time you start dreaming about it to the time you're sharing your vacation photos with your friends and coworkers. Our vow is to treat your vacation as if it were our own. If personal service, attention to detail, and years of travel experience are important to you, then let Laulea Travels plan your next dream vacation. Visit lauleatravels.com or call 559-360-1933.
A dynamic litigator, in-tune listener, and forward thinker with almost a decade of experience, Nasser Nekomanish is a skilled attorney servicing clients throughout the Central Valley. When you meet a lawyer, call 559-441-0114 and ask for Nasser Nekomanish.
Linda Lee Kane is an author of fantasies, thrillers, contemporary fiction, and children's books. Order a book by Linda Lee Kane on Amazon or on lindaleekane.com. Get twice the results in half the time. Call 559-349-7934 to schedule your appointment with Clovis Fit Body Boot Camp today. And follow Fit Body Boot Camp Clovis on Instagram.
Welcome to CentralValleyTalk.com, the coronavirus fun and food headquarters. If you're hunkered in your bunker, hungry and need to eat, there is an option for food in Fresno's Tower District. Livingstone's restaurant is open for takeout dining for lunch or dinner. Livingstone's is located at 831 East Fern near Wishawn. Call them up, place your order, then pick it up. Call Livingstone's, 554-9662. Livingstone's, behind the old Bank of America building in the Tower District, 554-9662.
What if it breaks? And what if it shatters away, disintegrates? What if it breaks? I've seen too many sparks turning into broken hearts, seen too many wounds, all inflicted by you. And what if it breaks? What if it shatters away, disintegrates? What if it
Welcome back to the Everything Sparkle Show. With us, we have Bishop John Sims.
Yeah.
I am so excited to have you today.
Thank you, Sparkle. It's a pleasure being here. So far, very educational, inspiring, as well as promotional. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm really impressed. You've lived such a long, exciting life. And you marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to put it where it's over a long period of time. 1963, that was probably a little before you were born.
1963, yes. I think my mom was 8 years old at the time.
Yeah. Jesse Jackson, who is the Reverend Jesse Jackson, was an associate and very close friend of Dr. King. And in the 60s, African Americans were working menial jobs for like Coca-Cola, so forth and so on. And Dr. King took Jesse to Chicago. And Jesse approached Coca-Cola to give African Americans a meaningful position, not menial. And that's where all of the strikes then started and all of that. And at that point, Dr. King said to Jesse Jackson, well, I just happened to be there. I want you to start this group called Operation Bread Basket. And that's when Bread Basket got started. And I'm going to run through that real quick. The progress from Bread Basket to Jesse Jackson has a brother, Thomas Todd. In fact, he's been here to speak for me.
Nice.
And Thomas Todd didn't like the name Bread Basket, so he gave it the name Push. People united to save humanity.
I like that. I like that.
And it was around 1985, Jesse, we call him Reverend Jackson, decided to run for president. And because of his work with the black community, he was told that he could never get elected because only the black community would be behind him. And at that point, he adopted the name that we have right now. It's called Rainbow Push Operation. And the rainbow includes all colors. And that's how it gets that. Oh, yeah. So as we speak, we are the Rainbow Push Coalition. And Dr. Jackson is still the head of that, and of course Martin is no longer with us, and that's kind of my involvement. It goes back a pretty good way.
So you grew up in the South then?
Well, I grew up in the United States. I was born and raised and had my first college experience in the South. And that's where I really got involved in race relations and that kind of thing. Had a football scholarship. This is a good time for me to say that. Alcorn State is the oldest college in the United States for black people.
Wow.
Yeah, that's in Lorma, Mississippi. And that just happened to be where I went to school and played football. And I was not told at the time that I was going to be playing football. They didn't tell me I had to go to school and go to class and all that. So
school wasn't really your thing so much.
School wasn't really my
Sports
thing.
was. And
the administration and I didn't agree. So the long and short of it, I didn't make it through the academic part of Alcorn. And my hometown, Kent, Mississippi, very small. Everybody knows everybody. And once they told me I couldn't come back to Alcorn, I can't stop in Kent. That's how I ended up in Chicago.
Wow.
Exactly.
So how'd you link up with Jesse Jackson and Martin Luther King?
In Chicago. In Chicago. I left college at 1962 and then met Jesse in 63 in Chicago.
Did you know what a big deal they were at the time or how they were going to be a big deal?
No, quite frankly, I didn't intend to didn't intend. I didn't think that we would live to see today. It was not the kind of thing where we thought that especially black people would be in positions where we could travel anywhere we wanted to go, we could eat where we wanted to eat, we could see what we thought we would never get there. And so it was it just happened. Right now, Jess and I talk about that. It's just amazing. Martin knew that he wouldn't get there because he put himself out front, and we just kind of stood behind him and said, "Go, Martin." But it's been a good journey. It's been a very educational journey. And of course, I've been bivocational all of my life. Been into the church all my life. And once I got to erecting churches and involving black people in the political process, things started to make sense for me. And I just kind of locked into it, and I guess I'll be there until I'm no longer walking.
Well, you've been doing so much since then, and that's how I actually met you, doing stuff in the church. But
that's right.
Was it a very scary time in 1963 when you're marching?
Yeah. Yes. As a matter of fact, prior to that was even scarier. Before the Martin Luther King era, in high school, for example, in Mississippi, at that time, if you were, black or Negro, you couldn't walk on the streets of the city. If you met a Caucasian man or woman, you black, you get on the side and let them walk by. And you've probably seen in some of the old movies where you had to tip your hat and all of that. So it really, it's impossible to go back and grab everything and put it in a little package to see what it was like. But it's not the kind of thing you like to revisit. And getting back to what you really said, you probably heard the name Medgar Evers.
Yes.
Okay. My sister, Juanita, Dr. Sims, and Meg Evers' wife is friends right now. In fact, I see her every year. And they ended up naming the airport in Jackson, Mississippi, Evers Airport. But during that time, all he wanted to do is make sure that black people knew that they could vote and get them to vote. And he was murdered right in his driveway. And most people didn't want that to happen to them. So getting to see that and getting to see how things have evolved, it's really a miracle. It's really a miracle. And I'm hopeful that you and I will have a chance to share with the greater Fresno community some real things that it relates to. In fact, we met at the church where we met.
Right.
The founding pastor is Steve Davidson.
This is at Clovis Hills, by the way.
Yeah. Steve Davidson and I met in 1992. And he and a bunch of preachers erected Clovis Hills, and they helped me erect Mount Carmel.
Nice.
And Mount Carmel is here in West Fresno. And Steve and I have been very good friends. He is an honorary brother of the Sims family. Every year he goes to Mississippi or Chicago to this reunion we have.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I got to talk to my sisters and brothers about that. They kind of flock to him, and they don't know that I'm still their brother. But anyway.
He took over the family.
But yeah, there are a lot of things that I would like to share, not necessarily on this particular show, but there are not a lot of people around that could shed light on what's really happening and what really happened then. John Lewis, who is a congressman, he's very ill right now. We're praying for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He has cancer, right?
He has cancer, that's right.
Yeah.
And he and I met in Seattle a couple of years ago when he first marketed the first book, well, the second book that it's called March.
Oh,
As
wow.
a matter of fact, I have an autographed copy. I want you to have it.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'd love to read it.
Yeah, it's called March, and it starts with Selma. He was a little boy when they marched across the bridge in Selma and all of that. And I met him in Seattle, and he autographed a few copies. So I really want you to have a copy.
I would love that. He's the
Yeah.
congressman of Georgia?
That's right, right
Okay.
now. He's a congressman right now of Georgia. And I hope he get to do some more work, but he's not doing well at all. And we want the greater Fresno area to keep him in their prayers and good thoughts for him.
For sure, we will. We will pray.
Well,
So what's your mission now? Can we talk a little bit about the...
yeah, let's do that.
Because you've done so much, and it's really awesome that you're helping the city of Fresno. And we have
Right.
somebody like you here.
Right. In our vernacular, I happen to be bivocational. The reason I'm in Fresno is because of my educational background. I was brought to California as the dean of Allen Hancock College in Santa Maria. And
The dean that didn't graduate from college. I love that story.
oh yeah. As a matter of fact, get this. Guess who I had a long talk with, and I'm not going to say help him get through school, but we were at Harvard at the same time.
Who?
The Honorable Barack Obama.
Oh, that is so amazing.
Yeah. He and I, of course I'm much older than he is, he and I was at Harvard together in 1991. I ended up there because I happened to be the dean at Portland Community College, and they needed someone with more of an academic background and vocational. So they sent me to Harvard.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, and they paid for it.
I love that.
So there's a hall there called Guthrie Hall is where all of the brain power is, and we that's how I met Dr. Elbrock, who was the president at Allen Hancock College and brought me here to California.
That is
so
amazing.
it's too much to try to wrap up in a little piece. So a lot of things have happened over my short lifetime.
What did you think of Mr. Barack Obama when you met him? Did you see him as being a leader?
Well, actually, I knew him from Chicago also. You know, that's where he really got his foundation, is in Illinois. He used to be pretty much a block-to-block organizer. And your question, see, I've gotten old and I forgot what you asked me.
Just if you saw him as being a leader, and if there were any qualities of Barack that you had remembered in Dr. Martin Luther King. Did they share a lot of qualities?
Yeah. Well, first of all, he's an extremely intelligent guy. Extremely intelligent. And let me really share with you some of the things that made him great. His mother happened to be Caucasian, and his daddy happened to be not only black, but from Africa. And he had the best of two worlds, so to speak, in terms of what the USA was all about at the time.
Right.
And he put all of that together, and from his mother and his father, they instilled in him just what's needed in order for not the United States, but the world to see that especially the African American community is not what has been portrayed over the last 60, 100 years. Prior to, let's say, the 50s, the only thing that most people knew about black people was there was an old show called Amos and Andy. You've heard of that one?
Yes.
And that was how people knew black folks. And it was actually Barack Obama and a few others that really shedded light on what an exceptional piece of art black folks are.
How did you feel when he became president? Was that like going full circle with your whole life and everything you've been through?
First of all, I did not believe it was going to happen.
Right.
But once it did happen, I see this a little differently than a lot of people. I see it as being somewhat spiritual. Not only is it spiritual, and I've noticed, in fact, you're going to see this in the book that we're writing, it appears that every 10 years, something spectacular or different happens in one's life. If you look at your life 10 years ago, you could probably think of some, oh, wow, did I really do that? But I don't know. We just didn't think it was going to happen. And not because he was not qualified, but mainly because he was half black. We just didn't think it would happen. We knew that he was qualified, and apparently there was other people who knew that also. But even now, you know, one asks you the question about him, and I'm sure he'll look back at it and say, wow, how did this happen? It's still kind of like we're still going through a maze, and we just happen to see that thing at the end of the maze. It was just a wonderful thing, and I say it was God sent. That's the way I see it.
Don't you feel you contributed to it in some way when you marched with Dr. Martin Luther King? Do you feel like you were part of the history that brought us full circle to that moment?
Now I do, but then I didn't think about it. The very last march I did was in I guess it was in the 70s or 80s in Atlanta, marching with Dr. Jackson and John Lewis and the like. Let me share just a little bit about why that march took place. The powers to be in the Caucasian arena. So, okay, you went to the White House and the president said, well, you got to vote, fine. So we will have voting take place on Sundays while all black people are in church.
Oh, my.
Now they passed a law where you can't do that. But the law was considered a sundown law. In other words, the sun go down on it in a certain number of years, and it's no longer intact. So you got to remarch to get another sundown law.
Oh my.
So I'm very pleased that we are here talking about this, because a lot of these things need to be said in order to let people know that we are not where we need to be in terms of human and race relations in one of the greatest planets on Earth here, and especially in Fresno. We're not. In fact, many of us see it as being worse now than it was in the 60s and when we were marching.
Really? How so?
Oh, yeah. Right now, instead of shooting you with a pistol and cutting your head off, or Emmett Till in the 50s, they really murdered him and cut his intestines out and all of that because they said that he wolf whistled at a white girl in Mississippi. Instead of that, they use other things now, more on the educational and political in those areas. And those areas are dominated and controlled by other than African Americans. Are you with me?
I'm with you.
Okay. So I don't know, when people say things are better now, I ask the question, what do you mean by better? Okay, I can buy a house here now when I couldn't buy it 20, 30 years ago. That's not better, because as soon as I bought a house here, all of the other people left, and now they got an area they call the banks and everybody, it's redlining. And if I go to get a loan and I'm in this area, I can't get the loan unless I pay an exorbitant amount of interest and that kind of thing.
What can we as a community do to change that?
You really don't want me to answer that. I don't know that it's even legal to say this, but I'm going to say it. What as a community we can do. Accept Christ as our personal Savior. That's what we can do. Accept Christ as our personal Savior, and use the Bible as our guide instead of even the book that I'm writing. Don't even use it as a guide. It's just informational. But
how is that book coming along with the congressman? I know he's ill right now.
Now, he's already done March, the one that you're going to get a copy of. But the one that I'm doing now is called From Earth to Eternity.
And he's writing it with you, right?
That's correct. In fact, he's my advisor.
Nice.
Yeah. Right now, it's all over the floor. See, something else you don't know, and I want to share this with you. In 2013, my wife Vic and I bought a house at what was it, 99 in Herndon, in that area.
Okay.
And I was rolled down from the upstairs floor and put in the VA hospital.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. And I was on that life support thing for like 2 weeks. And they said, oh, he's gonna be gone in a couple of days, so we need his space. Let's put him in a nursing home. I don't know all this, but anyway, I woke up, I'm in a nursing home. In fact, I was on dialysis and couldn't use my hand. My pastor, Steve Davidson, will come and feed me.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. So right now I'm just recovering from a lot of that. But in any event, even that had to happen in order that the things that we talk about and accept as being Christians, all of those things had to happen in order to bring me around to full circle to know that certain things is possible.
That's amazing.
You know, people, especially where you go to church and other people, they, oh man, God's a healer, but they've never been sick. What are you talking about? He'll be your friend if you have no friends, but you've always had a friend. How do you know that? So all of those kinds of things that I used to say he was, I know now.
That's amazing.
Are you with me?
I'm with you, and I
Yeah,
really can't
okay.
wait to read your book.
Well, if you come by the house and pick all the papers up off the floor and
You're going to have to come back and bring that one.
remember that, from earth to eternity.
From earth to
Oh,
eternity.
you know the good thing about, I know we gotta go. The good thing about this, Vic and I have 4 boys, and Craig, he's not now, but yeah, no, he was the attorney for the city of Seattle, and he's got his own thing going right now, and once I pass away, he's gonna take this book and continue. It's gonna be a living document that people can read and actually benefit from it. Craig has a son, his 2 sons, Anthony and Braden. Braden is in the University of Washington right now. He'll be graduating. Once Craig passes away, Braden is so this is gonna be a living document so that anybody can pick it up and read it and see that road that they are on from earth to eternity, and they at this point, oh, that's a stop sign. I got to stop there, and I got to yield over here.
That's amazing.
You hear
I like
that?
it.
You think that's nice?
I do like it.
How much would you pay for that?
I think it's priceless on that, so I'm not sure.
I really appreciate that having an opportunity to do this.
Thank
I
you
see
so
you got some more
much.
people here.
Do you,
We gotta go.
can we go on your website or on Facebook to see the status of what's going on with you and the book? And
Yeah, I'll make sure it's on the Bishop. That's my email address.
Okay.
Can I say it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
It's on there. It's actually on there. The
Let me
Bishop
take my glasses off.
0602.
Now I really can't see.
It's on there for the
Okay.
viewers, so I
Yeah.
promise you were all
Okay.
so we can
So
email.
not only that along with some other things that I'll share with you, you'll be able to follow it along as we
Oh,
go.
great. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Doing a good job. Really, you are. You got us, the young and the old together. You're covering this whole thing. You got a good thing going.
I really appreciate that,
Yeah.
John.
Okay, now turn this thing off so I can get out of here.
'Cause I'm feeling so lost without you. Fly me to Mars. Ooh,
Welcome to CentralValleyTalk.com, the coronavirus fun and food headquarters. If you're hunkered in your bunker, hungry and need to eat, there is an option for food in Fresno's Tower District. Livingstone's restaurant is open for takeout dining for lunch or dinner. Livingstone's is located at 831 East Fern near Wishawn. Call them up, place your order, then pick it up. Call Livingstone's 554-9662. Livingstone's behind the old Bank of America building in the Tower District. 554-9662.
When you need to get fit, contact Gary Torres, IFBB Pro, specializing in weight loss, body transformations, and contest prep. Email Gary Torres 5336@yahoo.com.
Hey, I'm Chris DeVolt. Tune in every Friday night on CentralValleyTalk.com when I bring you Sex, Drugs, Chris DeVolt, where I'll give you 3 guesses on what we talk about. And I also vow to bring you 1 live local music act a week. So tune in every week because you never know what kind of music you're going to hear right here on CentralValleyTalk.com.
The Space Colony Journals are an epic tale of a family's struggle to survive. Meet the courageous women and dangerous men who dare to carve a home on the alien world of Vensu. Get your copy today. Available on Amazon and Gail Daly's FineArt.com.
You enter this door with expired tags. Beyond is another dimension. a dimension of regulations, a dimension of long waits. You have reached the registration zone. What looks like an ordinary shop is actually Mitchell Smog, located in the heart of the Tower District, a few minutes from the DMV. Mitchell Smog offers your vehicle a STAR-certified smog inspection. So remember Mitchell Smog when you need to pass through the registration zone.
Contact Sarah Hernandez of June and Matte Photography to schedule your portrait, engagement, wedding, or next family photo session. But that's not all. Sarah is also your personal brandographer, helping you ditch the stock photos and get images that sell. Call 559-412-3721. Visit juneandmattephoto.com and follow Sarah on Instagram and Facebook. Give your child the tools to succeed. The Yergubian Academic Center offers one-on-one and group educational lessons by appointment. Over 90% of our students show significant improvement in their academics in just 3 months. Students of the Yergubian Academic Center have gone on to UCLA, UC San Diego, Yale, Stanford, and many more prestigious universities. Schedule a tutoring session today. Call 559-437-3973.
Welcome to Central Valley Talk, the coronavirus fun and food headquarters. If you're hunkered in your bunker, hungry and need to eat, there's an option for food in Fresno's Tower District. Bobby Salazar's is standing by with individual meals or a pre-cooked meal that will keep you fed for days. Keep it in your freezer and heat it as you need it. Bobby Salazar's is located at 725 East Olive at Broadway. Call them up, place your order, then pick it up. Call Bobby Salazar's at 497-9920. Bobby Salazar's in the Tower District, 497-9920.
Too many sparks turning into broken hearts, seeing too many wounds, all inflicted by you.
Welcome back to the Everything Sparkle Show. Crystal, tell us what you do. I am so... This is the question of the hour.
Well, I consider myself an intuitive therapist.
So definition.
The definition, okay. Definition is someone that I do counseling services that I actually incorporate a bit of my intuition in with the counseling and coaching services. So I also am into crystals, crystal healing. I'm into alternative medicine. I do intuitive body work such as reflexology. I incorporate the healing energy of crystals when I do that, as well as intuitive consultations and coach sessions.
That's very interesting. We've never had an intuitive therapist here, actually.
Yes.
So is it for a lot of people in pain? Is this like an alternative to pain management?
Yes, it's pain, because oftentimes when we have something we're in pain, we just pop a pill and we wonder, okay, that's good temporarily, but it just kind of it still lingers. So what it is that I do is that, I believe it's a God-given gift. When people come to see me, I basically just do what's called Reiki. Reiki healing is a
I've heard of that.
You heard of Reiki?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a combination of Reiki and crystals, and just kind of fill out the area, and then just kind of put that good energy, that warm energy through my hands, and it just permeates the body. Because what happens is that oftentimes when we have stress, and we actually can take on a lot more than we're inadvertently taking on. We actually have electromagnetic field. So we could actually attract energy our way. So if we're in a place where it has bad vibes and things like that, we have a tendency to pull and hold on to things, and we suppress things, and we wonder why we have backaches and problems. And it's just, I don't know if you've heard that term of someone, they died of a broken heart. And that's usually, it's a combination of, just suppressing all that energy. So it actually can manifest in heart palpitations, blockages, things like that. So what I do is I help locate that. We help remove that either by doing our coaching sessions or through my body work.
Awesome. I lived in Los Angeles for 15 years, so this is a big thing there.
Yes,
I think it's kind of a newer concept to the Central Valley.
Exactly, yeah.
So where are you based out of? Do you work out of your home or out of an office?
Yes, currently working out in my home. I also offer classes where I do where I call it is wine and readings, where I bring all the ladies. It's also co-ed, guys can come too. I have some wine, and then we just all talk about things, and I do assessments and just readings, intuitive readings for everyone that comes. So I've had lots of successful events. I also had a fundraiser, a festival, where right here in this picture here, it's a festival where I actually worked with other people who are in that field, social psychotherapists. They're actually more metaphysical colleges and universities are starting to open up and offer this type of training for anyone who wants to get a degree in it, and it's a growing business, a growing field.
So how long have you been into this, and did you study for it?
Well, yeah, the funny thing is, I feel as though, I've been gifted since I was a child. I used to predict things that used to happen a lot, and it freaked my mom out at first, but
I imagine.
but she started embracing it, and she was just like, wow, this is interesting. But through my religion, I was brought up Christian, and I thought of it was demonic. I'm like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't touch this. This is bad. But as I grew older, it just kept getting stronger and stronger. And I said, you know what? I need to embrace this. And the more people I talk to, it seems like I help them. And I said, I think this is a calling for me. So I broke free from religion so I can help people of all walks of life. I don't judge anyone. Everybody can come to me and talk to me about any and everything. And I believe that's my God-given path.
Do you get a lot of the Indian community?
I get everyone. I get everyone, all races, all religions, even Christians. You know.
Well, I know. I just wondered if you got a lot of them as well, because I know they use a lot of like these healing tools as well.
Yes,
so
yes.
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. It's not a lot, but I've had some clients.
Well, I'm thinking Fresno, because I know this is like newer to the Central Valley.
Yes.
And they're a little more advanced on that type of therapy.
Oh,
than
yeah.
People, so that's why I was wondering if you had a lot of clientele.
Yes, especially when I speak of goddess energy, Lakshmi, different goddess energy, and they're very familiar with that. And every time I talk about it, they just perk up.
Right.
So if I say that, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a women's empowerment thing. So I'm pro women's empowerment. I'm also a preschool teacher by trade. So I do love working with children. And I like to, just have them explore the world of, just meditation, crystals. All that stuff isn't really taught in school.
So where do you get your clientele from?
Just word of mouth. I advertise. I use all the social media outlets, friends, family. They tell their friends, everyone, and I do readings for them, and they're like, hey, I like this.
Do you have like a regular clientele, like somebody that you see every single week, and you're helping them
I
work
do
through
have
something?
some. Yes, I do have some, and that was from word of mouth, and it's also from the events that I host. So when they come to my events, they're like, oh, I like this. So they call me and book a session with me.
So is this something that we can do now? Do you have anything coming? I know this is a weird time to ask about anything coming up. But
oh, my goodness.
If we follow you on social media, is this something that we'll see you're going to post about when you're going to have the events for that?
Yes.
Do you make house calls as well?
Yes, I do. All my information is on crystalshealingarts.com. You can chat me up there. And you could book appointments there as well.
What was the craziest thing that ever happened in this job, in this line of work, that you helped somebody through or saw?
Oh, boy. It's like crazy as the normal. So it's like...
Well, just tell us one story that comes to mind.
Oh, wow. Let me see here. Wow, that's a really good question. I had a lady that called me from Australia. I also was on, just before I get into that, I was also on one of the popular psychic hotlines. It's one where it's been all around for like 30 years. It's a psychic source.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was one of the top psychics there. So they had people call from all over the world, and this one lady, can't give anybody's name, of course, but she was telling me that she saw angels around her, and she wanted to tell me and share her stories, her dreams, everything. And the moment I started talking to her, I just felt like this overwhelming presence, like, whoa, every time I talked to this client,
you felt something.
I kept feeling something, and my eyes just started uncontrollably just watering, and I had to tell her, hey, you know what, I need to talk to you a little later. She's like, I understand, this is a very powerful thing, and I told her that she has a really big calling in life, and she said, I agree, but I need to just put this down on paper so I can make sense of what's going on. So, But I enjoy talking to her though.
So what happened? What was the outcome of that?
The outcome was basically I just told her that you are heavily protected, and I can feel it, and that was the strongest I've ever felt with anyone. And I told her, hey, we're going to work through it, and we continue to keep talking. So I think that was pretty much the biggest I would say, I guess just encounter I had. So it was.
But you don't feel it's a godly thing because you said you're away from religion. It's more.
Well,
of a spiritual
I
thing.
still yes, because we are spirits housed in this body. So you can pick up on energy where we're spirits. But this is energy, even me moving right now. It requires a certain level of energy. So I do believe in angels. I still do. And I do pick up there's certain energy, even people that passed over. You know, I've done readings for people that actually had their parents pass over or a loved one passed over. And I did readings for them. And, you know, of course, tears come down. And I feel there's messages.
Do people who have passed over contact you? Do you hear from the dead?
Yes.
So sometimes when you're in the room with someone, you could
I can
pick
feel
up
someone,
somebody that's
exactly.
close to them and connect to that.
Exactly. Yeah, I can even pick up on the spirit guides, people who passed over. A lot of people who passed over actually have a lot of unfinished business, and and they want to relay that message, and I'm that conduit for that.
Do you feel something here? Because this is a very old building that we're in. Present. Do you feel anything when you walked in today?
Yes, very, very old. I don't really feel any person in particular. I don't feel anything like, stuck or anything, how I say stuck. Sometimes, some buildings can carry old energies, but this one I'm not picking up so much.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We're going to keep track of what you do. Do people buy crystals from you, or that's just part of the whole healing process?
They can buy crystals from me. They can. I do sell some crystals. I'm actually in the process of making my own crystal jewelry too.
Oh,
so that's a new thing.
I'm sure a lot of people will love that because that's really pretty.
Yes, I love crystals.
Well, okay, so we got all of your information.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
No problem. Thank you for having me, Sparkle. This is sparkly up here.
We're gonna go off with the pictures of our kids. Jennah, and then Valentino wasn't able to be here because he didn't feel good. So in case of chancing it, so we have some lovely photos of these up and coming boxers, these up and coming athletes. Today's been such an interesting day of guests. I love it.
Oh, yes. This is so much fun. Crystal on the Sparkle Show. I love it. It's so fitting.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you for having me.